Hello everyone. I recently reread one of my favorite Rabindranath Tagore poems called Paper Boats. It's one of those poems that I come back to every 6 months to a year at least, because it really is so lovely and I think resonates with so many people and everything that we learn in life. So I wanted to take a few minutes and just share it with you, and I've prepared just a very short reflection on Tagore's lines. It's not a very long poem at all, and I'll include a link to it below. Tagore writes, "Day by day, I float my paper boats one by one down the running stream. In big black letters, I write my name on them and the name of the village that I live. I hope that someone in some strange land will find them and know who I am. I load my little boats with shiuli flower from our garden and hope that these blooms of the dawn will be carried back safely to land in the night. I launch my paper boats and look up into the sky and see the little clouds settling, white bulging sails. I know not what playmate of mine in the sky sends them down the air to race with my boats. When night comes, I bury my face in my arms and dream that my paper boats float on and under the midnight stars. The fairies of sleep are sailing in them, and the lading in's their basket full of dreams." Thus concludes his poem, and I just wrote a short reflection on his words. My thoughts on paper boats. We are all so simply made, all of us paper boats. We are designed to have just what we need to float both up and downstream. We can be folded in many different ways, both intricately and austerely, but the same paper bow and stern undergird each of us, even as the sails change color. Some of us are born implacable and sturdy, others flounder amid life's sudden groundswells. The sturdy ones must be tasked with towing the stragglers to shore, because one day they may find themselves lost within a groundswell of their own. The waters change at sudden notice. All of us have one simple purpose: to remain upright and afloat. We balance precariously between all that we can see and the great depths of the unknown. We appreciate this struggle more greatly when we are fighting against the current, when the waves gnash their teeth relentlessly against our sides. But the truth is, we are most vulnerable when we lay perfectly still. Our sails are released when we tread still water, and we are lulled into such a state of calm that we fail to notice the water slowly seeping into our paper boats. It seeps in slowly and imperceptibly at first, pooling within a small puddle in a corner that the sun usually keeps dry. We are too busy to notice, too distracted by the glittering islands that we hope lay just beyond the next riverbed, until we find ourselves nearly capsized. Paper is mightier than the sword in many ways, but still weaker than pride. We send out countless paper boats, neatly inscribed with our names and our villages, across uncharted seas over the course of our lives. Life is a series of seemingly chance encounters, of serendipitous bids, of fated offerings. We load our paper boats with our names and our villages and everything that we cherish, and we close our eyes and hope that the harbors of the strange land where they dock are gentle and sincere. Because we have traveled a long way, and we are weary and guileless in many ways. The shores are enigmatic and inscrutable from a distance, but we must rest somewhere, and we alight from our paper boats. Some strange lands welcome us with open arms and provide an anchor for the rest of our lives. Others refuse us outright. Still others shelter us temporarily until we have learned something useful and important, and then turn us away. More often, though, we notice a small pang of unsettlement, a gnawing sense that we are not where we belong. Our first instinct is to rebuke it, of course, because we have been lulled into comfort and it is too hard to overcome the gravitational pull of inertia. At some point, though, that gnawing voice becomes too persistent to ignore, and we bravely return to sea. We are forced onwards, without a sense of destiny or destination, but this time we are sturdier and more discerning, and for that we must be so thankful. Because to learn and grow is a great privilege, one that is at best borne hastily and ungraciously, and more often, one that is shouldered with bitterness and contempt. We leave some of our cargo behind us forever and hope someone else can make some use of it, that it can enrich the lives of those we may never meet. As we comb through our cargo holds before we set off, we realize we already have all that we need to survive at sea. It has always been within us, and its weight and tenacity belies the fragility of our paper boats. Perhaps we have never paused to take inventory before, because we always sought it in other people and in other places. Beauty and valor always seem as though they belonged to another age, where men fought evil and love lived on in songs. We all hope to be understood, and we pray that our paper boats are picked up by those who recognize the treasure that lays within. This is why we have to send so many boats out into the world, so many bids across turbulent waters and peaceful tides. We feel as though our boat has something important to reveal to a receptive audience, that there is some great resonance out there that we would be remiss to pass by. There's urgency within our sails, and the wind beneath them can only carry us onwards. We discover that beauty is as ageless as the sea is expansive, that bravery assumes a multitude of forms across every age, and that kinship is to be found across all generations, in every corner of the earth. Our paper boats carry messages that tell the world to pause, to cast off our perceptions of space and time, and to realize that the horizon is always moving gracefully towards us. So we tear across the waters with so much to say and such limited time. Our paper boats carry our most furtive prayers and dreams, and there is so much consequence to how we spend our time and attention. When we close our eyes at night, we hope that the messages have been relished and savored by curious minds and open hearts. We imagine that someone far away is smiling as they read our writing, as if they were connecting with a friend they had lost touch with long ago. As our boats race against the clouds, it seems we have not moved at all, that we are constantly treading water. But then I think of the one who has sent the clouds to race against us. He has always known that our paper boats are strong and swift enough, because that is how he lovingly made us. He has orchestrated every wave that has greeted us. He has directed the very wind beneath our sails to the harbors that were always meant to shelter us. He has arranged for us to meet all the right people at exactly the right time in our lives. He has gently guided the hands that pluck up our paper boats and the eyes that read our messages with such earnestness. He knows when we are to flounder, when we are to rage against the current, and when we are to lie perfectly still. And he will always be there to carry us back home, where we have always belonged, just beyond the horizon. The end. I really hope you enjoyed Tagore's poem as much as I did, and my reflection on it as well. It's a beautiful piece of writing. He's just a magnificent poet. I'll include a link to his poems below, and I encourage you to peruse them at your leisure. Thank you, guys.